Yo, if you're coming here from TikTok, feel free to go ahead and skip to this part of the video. This is where I go over team-ups, costumes, and everything that I did not go over in the TikTok video. How would Angstrom Levy work in Marvel Rivals? Yo, my name is Gojibu, I am a tank player, been doing these Marvel Rival pitches recently, and I have gotten some requests to finish up the Invincible themed what ifs I have by wrapping it up with the support, Angstrom Levy. And for those of you guys who aren't familiar with Angstrom, he is a villain in the Invincible universe that has the ability to open portals to alternate universes. So he does utilize this for mobility, he does utilize it to trap people, he just kind of gets into a lot of creative situations with this, and he does use it in a lot of creative ways too. So getting right into it, he is a 275 HP strategist. For his jumping and mobility, I wanted to give it a 4-second cooldown. He does have a triple jump, and again, once he touches the ground, that'll go immediately onto cooldown. I think he'd use his portals to kind of maybe get a triple jump. Maybe he could send a portal to another universe, kind of have a solid source right underneath his portal. That way he could just keep moving or something along those lines. And he is going to be utilizing the orbs that he does have in the newer season. I feel like that's just a really good way to utilize them for healing, for damage, just a really good way to help out overall. So for the primary fire, he has Orb Strike. Angstrom sends out 2 of his orbs to fly directly into enemies, needing to wait until 1 or all 3 return to continue firing. So think of like Sigma from Overwatch, how he sends out those orbs and he has to wait for them to come back before he can shoot them out again. He doesn't really have an ammo count on his ability, he kind of just utilizes them whenever they're available. So this is just another cool way for Angstrom to use that to attack. For his alt fire / ability 1, I gave him Monitor and Repair on a 12-second cooldown. Angstrom can summon a healing orb to hover by one of his allies. The orb heals 30 HP continuously unless it is destroyed by an enemy or Angstrom places another orb on another ally, and the orb would take 3 hits to destroy. So this is his main way of supporting and helping out. It would help his team to kind of just get back into the fight, kind of just keep up the aggression more than anything else. And the fact that they'll have a little thing running around with them, healing them up constantly, well, that might not be the best for tanks. It would definitely help with damage mitigation. And I think these things would fly around, kind of just hover around in a zigzag pattern, making them a little predictable. But again, to people who haven't seen them before, they would be a little bit harder to hit since you would have to target them to stop the healing. Then for his ability 2, I gave him Displacement on a 10-second cooldown. Angstrom snaps his fingers, vanishing along with any other allies within a small AoE near him into a portal and reappearing a medium distance away. Allies have 10% of their HP restored when teleporting with Angstrom. So just another way for him to help out with healing, and I wanted to give this a little bit of a longer cooldown. 10 seconds doesn't seem like a super long time, but it is in Rivals, especially when you're in the middle of a fight. So taking your team with you, having them automatically get 10% of the HP back, really just a good save. But again, more than anything, you can also use it on yourself, get yourself 10 HP back, and also just move yourself from wherever the danger is. Then for his ability 3, I gave him Timeout. And this one I didn't manage to give a cooldown just because I really don't know what would be a good time frame for this or how long you'd want between the skills being used on this. It is a little bit stronger. Angstrom can either place a portal in front of himself or underneath an enemy, locking them in the portal for 3 seconds. Angstrom can choose the spawn point of the return portal within those 3 seconds. He cannot place portals over out-of-bounds areas or over areas with drops that kill. So again, this is just a really good displacement ability. He does use this a lot in the show. He does like to do this a lot. So this is just a really good way to incorporate that. I feel like it'd be really annoying as an enemy to finally feel like you have to drop on a support and then either have him teleport or teleport you a good distance away, which would just be, again, really funny if you're the Angstrom player. Then for his ultimate, I gave him Your Best Self. Angstrom readies a large portal over an area. When the ultimate button is pressed again, the portal will instantly materialize and crash down, replacing any enemies caught in it with a variant that begins attacking their allies. A low-level CPU controls the enemy for a short period. Enemies are brought back after 5 seconds with their HP from prior to the ultimate being used. So this is just another good way for him to get some damage on the enemy team. Absolutely think of it like a mind control type of deal, but not really a mind control thing, more of just like again, replacing them with evil variants or whatever. I don't know if it'd be too much trouble to have them have different skins from the shop. I don't know how much that would complicate things from a dev standpoint, but this would just be very easy to program. You just put in some characters that look identical to the ones that were just there, give them like a low level CPU controlling them, maybe give them ultimates, maybe I'd have them spawn in with the same ultimate charge that the other characters had, just so they could probably use it. But if they're a CPU, the odds of them getting a good old aren't exactly stellar anyway. Then for his team-ups, I gave him just one, and it's with Hulk, Mr. Fantastic, and Iron Man, and it's on an 18-second cooldown called Improvements. The local geniuses of the universe make some improvements to Angstrom's own design, having the healing orbs provide them 60 HP per second instead. However, they disappear after 10 seconds or when destroyed, and they take 2 hits to destroy. So this is just another way for some additional damage dealers and some tanks, kind of blurring the lines with Mr. Fantastic there in the mix, but just a good way for them to have some additional healing on themselves, especially for Hulk. I'd say maybe he could have, Banner fix this up, but maybe he might only get access to this in the Banner form, but either way, that might be complicating it a little too much. Just another good way for him to provide some additional support, and since these are tanks, are characters that kind of go off on their own except for Mr. Fantastic, I feel like it would be better to give them their own way of kind of self-sustaining a little bit more. Then for his costumes, I honestly was a little bit torn when it came to costumes. There's not a lot you can work with. There's the comic book version where he does have the cape, the, armored up look and everything like that. I like that one a lot better than his, starting look at the beginning. But if you do like his other costume, I do have the hoodie that he wears from Invincible when he's initially stranded or when he's initially transformed, just trying to go undercover. I have these other costumes that would essentially be cosplays of him playing other characters from the Marvel Universe. It would just be really funny to see him take a stab at them. The leader is a really good one. I feel like that'd be really funny to see, especially since you could just do, again, the whole green look. You could just, the giant head. I kind of stuck with characters that have big heads for this, but either way, the Maker is another one. I know Mr. Fantastic already has a Maker skin, but a Maker skin for Angstrom would be really tight. I feel like, again, it could just kind of look like the suit that the Maker has, give him the helmet and everything like that. And then I have MODOK, which is, again, obvious pick. He doesn't open portals to other universes or anything like that, but again, just because he's got a big head, I feel like he kind of fits the theme of Angstrom. And then the last one I have is the Watcher. Just because, again, multiverse type reality shenanigans, big head, it just works really well for him. I feel like he could maybe be the what-if version of the Watcher, but either way, I don't know how well it would work for his moveset. And then as for my final thoughts on Angstrom, I kind of just wanted him to be a annoying support character. He can absolutely heal. His drones kind of make sure they take most of the work for him on the healing end, and Angstrom really wouldn't prioritize that himself after he does have the villainous turn. I don't really think he'd want to focus on healing. He wouldn't use his direct orbs that he's using for combat to heal people. He would kind of just send the one random one he has away, like a little rinky-dink one, like, yeah, these that I have don't break. You get the little one that breaks in 3 hits. Here, just kind of see if it helps you out for a little bit. So it plays in character. One of the main things I like to do with these little crossover exercise type deals I do is try to keep the characters as close to what they would work like on a team as possible. So, of course, Angstrom would be giving you a ton of flack the entire time, talking about, oh, well, in this reality, you're actually a huge jerk, so I'm justified in not giving you this healing. But, again, I think it'd be fun to have a character like this who can also displace other people. I feel like the strategists in Marvel Rivals usually get jumped, and there's not a lot of anti-dive. I know Namor's a big one, but I feel like he could be a really good anti-dive support. He could take care of himself, but on top of it, if he's looking out for his teammates, he could absolutely displace an ulting Spider-Man, or maybe somebody who's about to pop an ult, or somebody who's diving the backline. Just getting rid of a thing for 3 seconds as a support would be a godsend, just because, again, I play Vanguard. I don't normally play strategist, but once Thing gets back there, it is almost impossible to stop that guy. So having something where you can just press and then just gone like that, super useful. Just a godsend for supports. But yeah, that is my pitch for Angstrom Levy. This is going to be my final version of the Invincible What If. I am going to be putting out a longer type video on Friday. If you guys do like that, feel free to go ahead and tune in, which will be going over an additional character and then some additional pieces for what an Invincible themed season might look like. Again, it's all speculation. I know it's very unlikely, but I think Marvel Rivals could absolutely benefit from crossing over with these guys, especially right now. But either way, that's everything I got for today. If you guys do like my content, feel free to check out the rest of it. If you do like TikTok, feel free to check out my TikTok as well. I got daily uploads there. I'll be looking to upload on my YouTube more as well, but if you guys got anything else for me, by all means, let me know in the comments. But otherwise, peace.